Welcome to Layn Turo University. My name is Conrad Layn. Welcome to the channel and Happy New Year's. I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I want to share that I officially added 5 new cars to the Turo platform. And the purpose of this is to show how to grow organically. Doesn't matter if you have 1 car, 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars, 5 cars, 6 cars, 10 cars, 20 cars, etc., or 100 cars. I own currently 35 cars, no arrogance intended. I rent a lot of my cars independently off the Turo platform, and I added these 5 to record a video series on my exact expenses, what my headaches are, what my maintenance costs are, and what the car loans are. I actually purchased 6 cars, and as you say, the Toyota that's in the far left, I'm gonna share my screen with you, and also look at the date as well. I'm also gonna go back to the cars I added. Today's January 1st, 2026. And the reason I wanted to do this, starting from New Year's, I'm going to start from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026, to give you 1 full year to share what it looks like behind the scenes, because there's a lot of gurus, there's a lot of people talking, even if they're legitimate or not legitimate or illegitimate. A lot of them don't show the numbers, so you don't know how much they're really making. It looks good, it looks nice, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. Turo's an amazing business. I love the company, but this is the thing. It's not a get rich overnight scheme or something you could do, rub your hands together and become a millionaire tomorrow or make a 6-figure business tomorrow. You have to get your hands dirty, you have to get into it. But the point of this is it is possible though, and it's real numbers I'm going to share with you. Nothing exaggerated, everything down to the last penny of what I spent and what I invested. And my goal is to finance to own all my vehicles like I've been doing. And I typically like to pay off my cars within 1 year to 2 years max. Maybe latest 3 years. So really 3 years max to maybe 1 to 2 years preferably, but 3 years max. Any profits I make, I put back into my car payments, and I hyper pay them so that I pay less interest over time. And so each payment becomes positive equity, because remember, you owe a debt to a lien holder, to a banking institution that illustrate the loan for you. But the problem is that when you don't pay it off, you pay additional interest. It compounds daily typically, and it's a simple interest rate. But what I like to do is I pay them off hyper fast, so I'm paying less interest over time. I pay my car off even faster. And if something would happen, it gives me options where if I want to sell the car, I could own it outright. I could rent and start offering leases to people, become essentially the lease company, and offer Turo hosts or regular individuals long-term rentals. Essentially, that's what a lease is. And now I have no car payments, so that means it's really just positive like income at that point. There's no car payments, so that's what makes this valuable, is because I finance to own my vehicles to the point where it goes back into my net worth, because I own the vehicle and I could sell it. I could let someone borrow it. I could lease it to someone. I could rent it on Turo. I could rent it anywhere. I could straight for an additional car. It becomes part of my net worth for real estate transactions or investments. Becomes collateral as well. Gives you a lot of power. But anyways, I've been talking too long. Let's get to the whiteboard. And at end of every video, when I do my monthly review or even weekly review, but especially my monthly reviews of how much I spent, my expenses, each column, the gross amount, the net amount, and the true net. I'm going to leave a picture of this board so you can study it. I'm going to be super transparent, no lies, no guru hack crap, just real numbers. You decide this business for you. Maybe you'll look at this and be like, this is a terrible business. No way, but I think it's an amazing business, and you'll be quite surprised if you think in a methodical fashion. You'll start to figure out that you can use this to really propel your life. And you can even rent your cars and give it to other Turo hosts. You can actually give it to people that are just starting off, that we don't have the best credit, or that do have really great credit, but maybe they're capped out and tapped out, where they have enough car loans where they can't get any more from new banking institutions. That's where I could come in and I could charge them to rent my car, since I own 35 cars, no arrogance intended. These are 5 cars I added to Turo platform. Other cars are on other being rented independently, and they're all paid off. So if you pay these off, these become your rolling diversification of income. So this is a diversified way to utilize cars for tax benefits, tax purposes, and also additional wealth, because now they're rolling streams of income. These are cars that roll around, earning you money. And again, I also want to add a caveat to this. This is only with renting. I earned $2,725 for only 10 days of renting the vehicles. 10 days. So 10 days, which is 33% utilization, means it gives me an additional amount. I like to rent my cars within 10 to 20 days. If I can rent them a whole month, great. But this is only with 10 days, earned $2,725 off 5 cars, which is actually exceptional. And let me share why it's exceptional. 33%, only 10 days. So if I open up the calendar and want to rent it for more days, this will only balloon and go up even further. So gross 2,725, but let's get to the nasty, let's get to the ugly, let's get to the expenses, because gross is nice, but it's about the net and the true net. Two different nets I'm going to teach you in finance. I'm a finance guy and I'm going to share this with you. So Turo expense, right off the top, car loans. 5 cars, which I said I have 6 cars as I showed earlier, but the reason I didn't add the 6 cars because I paid for that car outright with cash, and not everyone has cash lying around. I wanted to make this tangible and easy to understand in a digestible format where if you have no money to your name, how you can actually start your business essentially. So first and foremost, if you have bad credit, so find Turo hosts like me that have exceptional amount of cars and we can rent to you directly without credit being utilized. This Turo renters and Turo hosts are some of the best tenants for those that want to find other ways of making money outside of Turo. You can rent it independently to people, or you rent to Turo hosts who, remember, they're inclined to have 5-star ratings. You get banned typically if you have 2, 3, or less than 4 stars. You typically start to get banned, and your account and your career is over at that point. So Turo hosts, master hack. If you have enough cars, start renting to Turo host. They'll pay you typically on time. They'll pay you, and they're good to go for it. Highly recommend it. Love Turo hosts and renting to them, but you have to have quite a bit of cars to do that. And again, I'm gonna teach you how to get there. So anyways, I digress. Turo expenses, $1,455. Boom. I know that's like, whoa, that's a lot. That's a lot coming out of 2725 and everything, which I understand that, but not really. Because remember, even though these are car loans, these are finance to own. So finance to own vehicles means I own it at the end of the payment plan. So again, as I mentioned earlier, I attempted hyperpay these. So whatever net worth I have, which I'm in the green, even though this is in blue, I'm in the green, 839, etc., and a True Net 2200 that I actually pull back. I get to actually keep these amounts in my pocket. I can invest into investments, real estate, or I can put in back into the cars. So I put these back into the cars because my goal is to pay off the cars within 1 year to 2 years, max 3 years essentially. And so this is the cool thing. So car loans, $1,455 per month, finance to own, not a lease, finance to own, because I want to own this. That way I could be able to sell cars if I need it. If I need to get quick capital for real estate or for any investments, I can sell them at any time. Easy to get out cars off. I can rent to Turo hosts who have bad credit, give them opportunity, or I can rent to Turo hosts who have good credit, but just need additional cars to expand because maybe they have so many different car loans where banks don't give them any more loans going forward. Or it just becomes part of my net worth where I could use it as a collateral in a real estate deal, or I could and I get additional tax benefits. There's a lot of ways you can move when it's finance to own, and especially when you pay it off. The most beautiful part, the birthday present, Happy New Year's to y'all again, is I get to basically dissolve this $1,455 per month or whatever car payments I have, and I get rid of that. And that means I earn even more money now because at the end of the day, I don't have a car payment anymore. But remember, since it's finance to own, it becomes negative equity, it becomes positive equity, so it goes back into my pocket anyways. So don't be so distracted off the 2,725 and that I pay $1,455 and everything. You might be like, wow, that's like always profit. No, it's not, because it becomes positive equity. And you have to remember, think from a business format. That's why a lot of people fail in business. They don't do the proper numbers. And again, I am in finance, no arrogance intended. Think with your mind and utilize the numbers, break out your calculators. And the reality is this: if this becomes your equity and your net worth, you're actually paying yourself. You own the cars. This is not a lease where someone else owns it. You can become the lease company and do that if you want to, but the point is, don't look at this and don't even consider that. But that is part of the expense. I want to add that there. But this is finance to own. This goes back into your net worth. And then again, you can always sell the car later on. You rent it. This is a beautiful product. This is my favorite expense. That's why it's not because I hate paying expenses, but I like this expense because this $1,455, someone will look at it as untrained eyes. And this is good for me because then that's more money for me. You don't know about how good this business is. You look at this, you're like, whoa, $1,455, barely just pulling up like not even a lot of money because this 2,725 is gross. $1,455, not even considering anything else, is taken out. Like, what's going on here? But they failed to realize that this is actually a true value. This is adding to your net worth. You're paying off the car, and once you pay off the car outright, now you don't even have this payment anymore. So all you have is just your expenses like maintenance, etc., which is very, very cheap. But anyways, that's for car loans. 2, parking. I pay $250 per month for parking, $50 per car. Just want to be honest. I'm in LA. I'm not in the area. Some parts of LA and some parts of the country, you could just park for free. Blessings to y'all. It's not like that here for me. I have to park my cars or they will be towed. So it is what it is. So I have a parking contract where I pay $250 per month. Just want to be super honest and transparent again. And after every video, I'm gonna leave this board at the end of the video. If you want to take a screenshot, if you want to study it, see what Conrad Layn's doing, see what how your numbers match up. And a matter of fact, if you're a tour host and you're watching this, or if you're a new tour host, if it doesn't matter if you're a par host, an all-star host, a tour host, whatever, if you're just starting off, if you're a veteran, put your numbers of what you've done, good or bad. Do you like your numbers? Put it in the comments below. And the reason that's really important, because we're a working and thinking group. This is absolutely free information. We're just trying to develop each other's minds. I'm being super transparent, sharing my masterclass with y'all. And so y'all can even be better than me, and no areas of 10 when I say that. But if you're a tour host, I know that might be a little embarrassing, or it might be amazing. If you did bad or good, put your numbers down, and you'd be surprised people can help you add ideas. I'll add ideas, I'll comment, and in each comment, I'll pin what my expenses are. I'll copy and paste this. I'll leave a picture at the end of the video, but I'll also leave this in my description below if you want to study my strategy. So you see it, actually do all the math in your own time and see that I am telling the truth. I'm a real dude. This is not AI. AI is amazing though, great investment. But besides that, this is a real video and I'm a real human. This is New Year's and I want to share this with you. And I plan to release these videos at minimum monthly, if not weekly, but monthly, where I'm gonna go over my stats, and maybe weekly show you how it's going. But monthly is gonna be the recap. So this video is based on December 2025. I added my vehicles on in October. And the reason that's important is because I'm not counting October's numbers or either November's numbers. And the reason is because some of them needed maintenance, some of them were perfect. I had to renegotiate some of the financing deals. I got the deal with this one bank, but then I knew I get way lower interest at another, and that's part of the expense too. And I want to pay as little as possible. So everything got set in stone primarily. I have 5 cars rolling on Turo right now that you can rent. And again, let me show you something as well. I ordered from company Advantage GPS. I have quite a bit of these. These are 5. I ordered 10, where they gave me 1 for a bonus, actually. Very valuable. I'll go over the expenses of these later. And I bought decal stickers. I highly recommend. So all my cars are tracked and I could kill switch them. I don't recommend OBD2 because they can be pulled out. When you get a hardware, these get hardwired in the car. I get these done for free, and I'll show my strategy how I do it with Best Buy. So when I go into my expenses, this all makes sense. I have 5 of these. Again, there's the paperwork here. I'm telling the truth. And I left the phone number and everything in the description. So if you want to get Advantage GPS, I'm not affiliate, at least not this time. So I'm not getting paid for it. It's just a great service. And I love this company because they don't charge you going forward. After you install these, there's no renewal fees. There's no type of ongoing fees. It's free after you pay the first time. And these are really cost effective. Highly recommend it. But anyway, we'll get to expenses further and I'll share that with you. Anyway, so again, $250 per month. And that's which is for 5 cars, 50 per car, $250. That's my car wash. The cars have to be clean. They can't be nasty. That's how you keep good reviews. That's how you become a par host and an all-star host. You have to also have proper metrics. So I pay $99.95 per month. It was coming out right give or take about $20 per month. It's $19.99 per month. I pay for 5 cars. It's $99, and these are operations where what this does for me essentially is with Turo host, it gives the Turo host the benefit, as I wrote right there, gives Turo host the benefit to clean for me. So I basically inherit a free employee. Pretty slick, right? Because what happens is I can actually give them the car and say, hey, if you clean the car and everything, remember, they don't want to be charged any fees for a dirty car anyway when you bring the car back to you. So if I make it easy for them and give them a place where they go wash the car, typically they're happy and they even give you more stars because you make their life easy and they're not paying for something. You just add a free benefit to them. Pretty cool. So that's another reason you start getting 5 stars, and it keeps your cars clean. So instead of paying an employee to do it, now you have a free employee. You just inherit it by turning the Turo guest into your employee essentially in a slick way. Master hack. But anyways, and another hack, all these numbers are without adding any type of deliveries, without adding any extras. If you want to start adding extras and deliveries, and this is only me renting the car for 10 days, which is a very, very low utilization rate by choice. That means if I go up to simply, if I just bring up the utilization rate or even add extras or deliveries, I get a significant amount more. But again, I'm showing that even with the bare minimum effort, you can become wealthy with this business model. Screenshot it, review it. I put in your comments. I'm gonna put it in all the videos after the month, so you can actually review this. Check the description below. It'll show my exact expenses, the strategy, the methodology behind it, and you can study and emulate this if you want to, or hey, or even write your own tips there. Maybe you know something I don't know. I'm always willing to learn. So again, if you're a tour host and you're renting, share your numbers, put them in the comments, and or if you have any questions on how to get to the next step, feel free to ask. Leave it in the comments. Let's be transparent here. I'm being transparent as well. Again, this gives Turo guests becomes an employee essentially, as they're washing your car for you, and you can also charge them an extra for it if you want to. That also gives you the option to do that. But just by having, you have to keep your cars clean, so that's $99.95 per month that I pay. And then insurance, this is gonna knock your socks off. I pay the lowest insurance compared to any host I've ever trained, any par host I've ever trained. I've trained a lot of par hosts. I've trained all-star hosts, and I've trained regular hosts, but I train primarily par hosts. You're not even gonna believe me, but do your own research, and it's true. I pay annually. Does I get an extra discount for paying annually? I can pay monthly, but I pay annually to get extra discount, $800. That's for the year. That's for all 5 cars. That's also including my other 30 cars. Let that sit in. Slow it down. What I just said is I pay $800 for 35 cars. Insurance. You have to have insurance. Part of the requirement, have your car on the Turo platform. Let me share why. I have an insurance policy that's called Garage Keepers. Google it, type it up, read the description below. It has a lot more detail about that. Do your own research. I'm not selling you anything. I'm just sharing the master hack. And a lot of people are overspending on insurance. And even if you are spending on insurance, that's not a problem. Maybe it is what it is. You don't have to change your insurance. You keep the same insurance. I'm just sharing what I do. And even if you have your insurance, you can still be profitable. But I'm saying I only pay $800 for the year, which comes out to round off $66 per month. $66 per month for all 35 of my cars, and I can go up to 70 cars. Once I get to 70 cars, if I ever get there, that's not my goal at this point, but if I ever get there, 70 cars, I then have to reassess my policy. They have to reassess the policy for the vehicles. But 35 cars to 70 cars, from zero to 70 cars, I only pay $800 annually. It's called Garage Keepers Insurance. Again, this channel, I'm meant to be super transparent. I'm gonna share a lot that a lot of Turos don't know. I train them. They don't know, actually. And I'm not selling you this. This is a free New Year's resolution for y'all, and hopefully this helps. Let that sink in. $66 a month, insures up to 70 cars, cheaper than traditional insurance. And average garage keepers is typically $800 to about $1,500 annually. $800 to $1,500 annually, not per month, annually. From 0 cars to 70 cars is what I'm paying. Garage keepers, do your due diligence, people. I'm not selling you anything, but it's true. Next, super master hack. I have a Best Buy membership, and you can buy it too. I left the links below to the direct website if you want to view that. Again, I'm not selling anything. I am not an affiliate. I wish I was. I'm not though, but they're absolutely phenomenal. For 5 years, I found this out when I used to rent my cars on Hire Car. Rest in peace. They no longer exist at this point. But I used to rent my cars and I'll get all my installations done for free. So you pay $179.99. It used to be cheaper than that actually. But right now, currently, per this year, January 1st, 2026, it's $179.99, which is basically $180, which is fairly cheap. Comes out to monthly $14.99 per month if you want to break down and do the finance on it and the math. And what this does essentially is not only get all the other cool Best Buy perks, where you have Geek Squad and all that cool stuff, but the cool thing about this dude is that you can basically take your car, take it to a Best Buy, and they will install this bad boy for you in your car for free because it's part of the perk. But again, what you want to do is before you even buy this thing, don't just listen to, I'm just your friend on YouTube. Maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about, right? I left all the proof in the description below. What you want to do essentially is call your Best Buys local in your area and make sure that they have an operation or area where you can actually take your car to get it installed. Worst case, if it's not in your area, which I highly doubt that, but maybe I found locations where they don't have it and I have to go further, but I have a few locations that actually do this for me. And I know the people. I just simply show them my car, like bring my car. They usually keep it for maybe 2 or 3 hours. They install my GPS for me. Bada bing, bada boom, done. Easy peasy. So you can do that too, anywhere in the United States. And in worst case, if you can't do it, and they try to find a company like that that offers something like that. And worst case, it's a one-time fee. Typically, it's worth paying what maybe the $100, maybe $200 to install it. But this saves me $100, $200, $300, sometimes $400 to install these things per pop. And I have 35 cars, and all my cars have tracked. Every last one, I can kill switch, I can geofence it, I can cut off the car, and you can't drive my car anymore. It stops people from being stolen. All my cars are monitored by the local police authorities, and Advantage GPS does a really good job of also I made sure to cut off the car and also report to. They'll work with you with the police departments and the detectives. This is such a valuable piece of like technology to have. I purchased actually 10 of these, and I was gifted one. The company gave me one because they had a deal where you buy 10 of them, and that's my receipt right there. You look at my receipt. I really did buy these. That was an expense. That's a one-time expense though, so I don't really count this with my expenses, but I'm still adding it. Best Buy is an annual charge, so I count that. And even if I paid it already, I paid that back. Back early December and everything. No, sorry, November. I want to be truthful. It was November. It was like November 30th or November 29th, something like that. It wasn't December quite yet. So I want to be accurate. I want to be transparent and honest here. I bought that for $179.99. The link in the description below also shows that, and also in the pinned comments, I left that there too. Go try to do your own due diligence. Don't buy until you call and make sure the Best Buy provides this in your area. They provide in my area, and I found multiple locations that offer it. Not all Best Buys have an area where you can take your car to, but oftentimes they'll install radios for you, GPS systems like this, etc. Pretty cool. Also, I spent typically $20 for these. I got a pack of 5 of these. This is one of the packs I opened, and I used 2 of them. And these are basically stickers. I did another video about this, about how to protect your cars. I bought multiple stickers. This wasn't this year though, so I'm not counting that towards this expense really. But going for any ongoing maintenance, oil changes, tire rotations, claims if the car's damaged, I count that as part of the ongoing expenses and maintenance fees, deductibles as well. Stickers, I'm going to count that and add this to the board, and each board will be different. This is for the month of January, but I'm basing this off of the income for December because since today's January 1st, there's no stats to really pull. But if you look at my screen, as you see right there, see how that shows the potential just over $1,000 already day one. This is a profitable business. Remember, I'm only renting my cars 10 days per week. Like I'm keeping it like where I snooze it off on certain days, and that way I keep it at 10%. That's why you see one of my cars snooze in the beginning of this video, because I want to control the calendar and everything. But I might just allow the cars to be rented for the whole month and really see how much money I can earn. But this is really fun to me. I'm excited because I rent independently. I rent the Turo host as well off the Turo platform. But this is cool because I'm showing a way that anyone doesn't matter if 1 car, 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars, 5 cars, or even more, you can actually still make income and keep your prices low and build wealth. So with all that being said, Advantage GPS, which I left the link below for that, I left their phone number so you call them, talk to them. I don't get paid anything for it. I wish I did though. Just sharing what I do, so I want to be super transparent and honest. And if I make a mistake, I apologize. I'll own up to it and I'll admit it. I'm human at the end of the day. This is not AI. And I'm flawed too, but I'm doing my best to be just a decent human at minimum. And I want to be honest and don't want to lie and sell fluff. So this is what this current Layn challenge is about. Welcome to the Turo University by Layn Turo University. And these are the Turo expenses. The total amount of expenses is $1,885.94, including all of these. But remember, now that leaves us with the net. Dun dun dun. This is the fun part. So the fun part, yo, you have to really figure about this. The super fun part that I love. There's 2 nets. So at finance, there's 2 nets. There's never 1 net. There's net that you probably know already, but there's True Net. Net is $839.06. So that's still profitable. You might look at that number and be like, that is nothing. That is for 5 cars, Conrad. You used to me to tell me, you want me to have 5 cars, have a car loan, go through all this to earn only a measly $839.06. Heck yeah, that's good stuff. That's good money. Wealth is built over time, dear. This is not hitting the lottery. That's why I said, at the beginning of this video, this is not, I know there's 2 other Turos, this is no shame against them. They're doing what they got to do, and I'm not throwing any shame, not mentioning any names. They'll throw up how much they're making, how many cars they have. I have 100 cars, I have 40 cars, I have 50 cars, I have 20 cars, or I make this one. And it's like, and I fell in that same category too, not knowing. I wanted to break this down in such a more transparent way where you see the math, so it makes sense to you. And you can do your own, you can challenge me. You can even leave a comment, be like, bro, that doesn't add up. And maybe it does. I'm like, oh, my bad, I missed a number. But I guarantee I'm correct. And this still, at least I'm being honest. I'm showing what it actually costs to run an actual business behind the scenes for free. I'm not charging you. I've been a par host. I've been an all-star host. I've been a regular tour host. I've had mini cars. I have 35 cars now. I rent them independently. I rent them to movie studios. I rent them to actors even sometimes. I rent to, and this is, I'm not lying. I'm gonna do a series even where I've met famous people that rent my cars. This is true, not lying. This will be an interesting channel, but what I'm trying to do is show that you can do this too and even be way better than me. I mean, I'm just one dude. You can, if you have a team or yourself, you can blow me out the water. But so, and then no areas of talent. I hope you do. No areas of talent. I want the best for you. I really mean that. This is exciting for me. So cool. So look, net, and True Net. So what net essentially is, without car loans, finance to own. So True Net is $2,294.06. Not bad for 5 cars where I'm only renting out for 10 days per month, which is 33% utilization rate with most tour hosts. I mean, that keeps my miles low. If I want to rent more, I could rent more. If something happens and I need more money, I could just open up the floodgates and rent them for an additional 10 days, bring it to 66% utilization rate. For I rent the whole month, really make some more money. It gives me more power and control. I'm not desperate. And I want you to be like that too, where you're hungry, but you're not desperate. There's a difference. So the reality of this is that the True Net is $2,294.06, because when you look at the $2,725 figure, I basically am only paying for what's under the car loans and everything. That's it, which is a very low amount, very low and everything, under $500. Pretty cool. So from $2,725, the True Net that I earn minus the car loan are $2,294.06. The reason that's True Net matters, you cannot have a True Net, and I'm gonna be honest, if you have a lease. The reason it cannot be a True Net is because that means that actually becomes an expense because you never own the car. What I'm doing essentially is, since it's finance to own, which is keyword finance to own, True Net means it's going to my net worth, meaning that whatever is negative, if I owe $10,000 for a car, every payment I pay, say I'm paying $1,000, then that $1,000 becomes part of my positive net worth. It's transferable because I'm the owner now. When you actually are the leaser, which is a long-term lease and everything, you basically are paying off the other person's car. No different than when you're in real estate where you buy a home and you rent to your tenants. If you're renting a home you don't own, you're paying off someone else's mortgage. You're putting money in their pocket. Same thing here. True Net is because I own the car. If I lease the car, it would not be True Net. True Net is only because when I get rid of it, since I like to hyperpay, and I pay my cars within 1 year to 2 years to 3 years max typically, not 72 months. I know they give me 72 months or 60 months, but I pay it off way before then. And what that does, I pay less interest over time. Any profits I make, this $839.06 that you see, which is the net, I put that back into my car payments. Remember, do the math. If my car loans is $1,455 per month, finance to own, and I'm gonna put my full $839.06 into that, I paid more than half. That means every time I pay that, I'm paying months off at a time. And I'm saving way more interest, paying way less in interest, and I'm buying my car right. That way, once I pay it off outright, I will not have any more car payment anymore. And now what happens is I can just pay these off right away. Crazy. So that's the benefit of this. So every month, I'm gonna do my absolute best to make sure at the end of the video, I'm gonna screenshot this. Sorry, not screenshot. I'm gonna take a picture of this and add this in the back of the video. So for those that stay for the whole video, you get this as a reward. Second, I'll leave it in all the comments as well. And I'll also leave it in the description, my exact strategy. So that's how you do it here at Layn Turo University. Didn't mean to take a lot of y'all time. It's just I'm really passionate about this. I'm super happy. Happy New Year's to y'all. I love y'all. And let's make some money this year. This is the first day. And let's get to it, essentially.